Hello everyone, I'm going to show you how to create a ER diagram using MySQL Workbench. First we need to start MySQL Workbench from the start menu, and that will take us to the initial page. From there we need to click on the plus sign next to the model, and then double click on add diagram, and this is the main page where we can draw the entity relationship. Uh, uh, so we need to go back to the assignment, and the first bullet point says that the model must store mailing and contact information for all clients. So we need an entity. We double click on that, a category, and then double click on the category, and of course we can modify the properties after that. We can call it ABC client, and we will have to define a primary key, and we're going to call it client ID, and then we can delete the other entity here, other attribute here. And the second bullet point says that the client may have multiple contacts, so we need an entity called client contact. Again, we're just going to double click on it and double click on it again, and then of course we can modify the client contact. We need to define a primary key, and we're going to call it contact ID. Next we need to define the relationship. Basically the relationship between ABC client and client contact is one-to-many, so we can just click on the one-to-many relationship and then click on the client contact. Next click on the ABC client, and that will create the relationship actually. And of course we can double click on the relationship itself and add some comment. Here we're going to say a client can have multiple contacts. After that we need to go back and read the next instruction, and it says each of these contacts may have a different address. So we need another entity here. So I'm creating few entities as a matter of fact. So the next entity, we're going to name it client address, and of course we need to define a primary key for that, and we're going to call it a contact ID. Here is the primary key. It is okay. I'm sorry, it is client address as a matter of fact. So I'm just going to create a relationship there too. The relationship between client contact and client address is one-to-many. Similarly, we need to create two more entities. One we are going to call client communication, and of course we're going to have a primary key and com ID. The relationship between ABC client and client communication will be one-to-many, because each client can have multiple communication. Here we're going to draw, and there you go, and it's a one-to-many relationship. And the very last one is salesperson, and it says that each client can have salesperson, so I'm assuming that we can have multiple salesperson for each client. So we're going to call the last one is ABC salesperson, and the primary key for this will be SPID, and the other attribute we're going to delete. Again, now the relationship will be one client can have multiple sales person basically. One thing to note here is that I just added one or two attributes here, but you need to actually create multiple attributes for that, because I want to see that you understand this assignment. So there will be more relevant attributes for each of these entities that you need to finish basically. After you are done, basically what you need to do is go back and save the work. For that, all you have to do is basically click on the file. Here I'm just showing you how to add more attributes basically. Here I'm just calling a name, giving it a name attribute, and defining it a variable character. So once you are done, just go to the file menu and save it. and the assignment says exactly what format it should be saved. Your last name and first initial, and that's it. Once you are done saving it, please upload it and I will review it. I hope it was helpful. Thank you very much.